This video is brought to you by scan.co.uk. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hey guys, Jack here, and today we're going to be talking about CSGO. To start off with though, apologies for the lack of videos this week. I'm actually in the process of moving house at the moment, and it's all just been mental and chaotic. I've also got a cheeky bit of man flu, which is always nice, and that's why I sound a bit rough, but the show must go on. Next week, of course, BF1 Early Access comes out, so there's going to be loads of vids, and I'm going to be doing a few streams as well, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. It's definitely exciting times ahead. So today's topic, CSGO, it's gone from a game that I played almost every day to a game that I barely play at all, and it just frustrates me more than anything when I play it. Now, a lot's changed in the game recently, and honestly I can't say if it's for the better or for the worse. There's definitely been some steps in the right direction, it's hard to deny that. The hitboxes, for example, they've finally been fixed. Recently there was a bug found where if the player model was slightly twisted, a headshot just wouldn't register at all, like the hitboxes didn't line up with the model. It's madness really, and definitely the cause for a lot of BS moments in the game at casual and pro level over the last 1 to 2 years maybe, but it got fixed pretty fast when it was found out, because a member of the community actually managed to reproduce it consistently. But the question is, how long has that even been in the game, and why weren't Valve more active in fixing bugs like this until the scene made a fuss about it? Because it's not like over the past 2 years there's been, so many videos demonstrating these crazy hit rate problems, but whatever, it's fixed now. There've been some connection tweaks too. Lots of players have noticed some issues now for quite a while, where you get like massive amounts of choke whilst playing the game, and it looks as though Valve came up with a fix. Essentially, you can now set your rate depending on what bandwidth your connection allows, making sure that you get as much data as you can handle. The default rate setting in CSGO used to be 80,000, but now I think it's 196,608, and can even go up to 786,432 if you've got a connection that can handle that, which apparently is usually 6 Mbps and upwards. Obviously, both of the things that I've just talked about are a good step in a right direction to fix the overall experience of the game, but I will say that having played the game after these updates a few times, I still notice plenty of inconsistencies in bullet reg when playing matchmaking. Now, I know that most of these can probably be put down to 64 tick, but after experiencing CSGO online and 128 tick servers online, and then you play matchmaking, you realise just how far the online experience currently is from older versions of CS, and also just having the game working perfectly and to its best standards. I don't know if we'll ever see 128 tick servers in matchmaking, but I do really hope that happens at some point, because it's just a different world. Valve have also recently tweaked one of my most hated things in CSGO, jump shooting. I personally would rather see jump shooting gone entirely, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I'd prefer it in my perfect version of the game, where if you jump, you've just got massive deviation with any weapon, so it just isn't possible to get an accurate shot, and if you do get a kill, it's someone who's on the far left of your screen or far right of the screen, like it shouldn't have even happened. It's just complete luck. But I've seen many examples of players jumping with pistols, AKs, all sorts, that just shouldn't even be possible in a game like Counter-Strike, and that just isn't Counter-Strike to me. But in CSGO, apparently that sort of stuff is still acceptable. The recent update though makes it exponentially harder to get jump shots, so it's definitely a step in the right direction. They've changed the way that the accuracy works when you're jumping, and the short version of it is that now you're always inaccurate when jumping, but you're most accurate at the peak of your jump. So if you jump even with a scout and shoot while you're going upwards, it's just not going to go on target. But now you'd have to shoot when you reach the peak of your jump to get the most accurate shot. It's actually not that easy to do either. Fire too early or too late and you're definitely not going to hit your shot, so that means at least no more easy jump shots with the scout. That being said, you can of course still achieve jump shots if you time it correctly, but in defense of Valve, it's so much harder now that we should definitely see a massive reduction in it happening on a regular basis. I'm definitely in favour of that, I don't know if you could tell. Let's not forget though that it's taken long enough to do this. It should have been done much sooner, rather than adding stuff like graffiti into maps like Mirage when Cold Zero was getting jump shots with an AWP because the game simply allowed him to. Other than the actual game, there's also been a lot of VAC-ban waves recently, and Prime matchmaking is definitely working better than just playing vanilla matchmaking, which is a good thing. Of course, there's still going to be cheaters, but I feel like Valve could be doing a lot more. Hypothetically speaking, say 20,000 players get banned in a VAC wave. In reality, that isn't really a large percentage of players who are probably cheating, but it's something, and I guess we've got to see that as a good thing. On top of all this, Valve have very recently introduced sprays into the game again. In old versions of CS, you could look at a wall, press the spray button, it was T by default from memory, and it would paint a lovely picture on the wall. There were a load of pre-selectable images, so most of them just came from Half-Life, but if you wanted to, you could also add in custom images. So back in the day, on the CS community servers, there would be naked ladies, dicks everywhere, and memes plastered all over the walls of Dust 2. Now though, you've got to pay for charges to use your spray. From what I can tell, you get 50 for free to start out with, but after that you've got to pay for them or unbox them or something like that. More monetization in the game basically for old features that used to be free, and it just feels like a slap in the face to the player base if you ask me. Spend more money whilst we don't actually fix the things that matter. And then we've got the new weapon sounds. Yes, I understand this is subjective. Some people may like them, and in all honesty, some of them I think aren't too bad, but overall I just can't understand a few of them. My first issue is that they all sound remarkably similar. Previously, all weapons in the game sounded really unique and you knew exactly what weapon was being fired. Also, weapons like the AK and the M4 are iconic CS weapons. They need iconic sounds to match, and now they've just been given what I think are generic sounds that just sound like a variation of every other gun in the game. The AWP as well, honestly, I can live with the sound of the actual AWP, but the Thunder Echo, it's just, I don't even know what to say with that. Like, the sound goes on for way too long. And again, the AWP sound was iconic. It was Counter-Strike, but now it's just something different and weird. Another problem I have with the sounds is that to me, they don't seem to match up to the speed of the weapon firing. The rifles now, even though they fire just the same as they did before, for some reason, in my head, the sounds just make the gun sounds like they're firing slower. Maybe that's just me, but I just don't like most of the new sounds. It's not a case of just getting used to them either. I still don't like some of the weapons updated over a month ago, the sounds that they use there, but I'm sure, like I said, it is subjective and some people do like them. They're just not for me and just not Counter-Strike. So overall, I didn't want this to come across too negative. Like, I definitely think there's been some good updates with the game, but my main problem is the game has sort of already lost me before these updates have come in, because there's so much nonsense in it with bullets not hitting, jump shots, crazy weapon sounds, that I've just kind of lost all interest in it. And even though it's now moving in the right direction, for me it could be too little too late. Sure, I'm going to play CS every now and again, but it's definitely lost its sparkle for me, and it's no longer the game that I'll kind of always go back to, and I think that's a shame. So there we have it, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. How are you feeling about CS at the moment? If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down, and I'll see you in the next one.